Hi everybody, welcome inside the Mountain West Network Studio. I'm Jesse Kurtz alongside a very special guest, the brand new commissioner of the Mountain West, Gloria Nevarez, who is the second commissioner ever in the history of the Mountain West. Gloria, we appreciate the time and welcome in our studio for the first time.
Thank you, excited to be here.
So you're now the new leader, the new voice, the new face of this league. What do you want fans and those who follow the Mountain West to know about you?
Well, having been a former student athlete myself, I felt my experience as a college athlete was very formative, and my North Star in my career has really been trying to provide a great experience for college student athletes. And at the conference level, I hope we do that through our championships, our exposure, and telling the stories within our league.
You have a wealth of experience both in the conference office and on campus as a student athlete. I'm curious, before you came into the Mountain West, when you were on the outside looking in, what were your impressions of this conference?
Well, being a Western region person and large majority of my career and life, the Mountain West has always been, a very strong brand in the league, a symbol of excellence, representative of the entire region, and I was just so fortunate to even have the opportunity to interview. I'm just really happy to be here.
Well, we're happy you're here as well. You've already hit the ground running very hard. You've been on campuses, going and listening to administrators, to fans, to coaches about how to make this league better. What are some of your primary goals in your first year?
The primary goals aren't as local because the Mountain West is a very, very strong league, well run. We win a lot. My first issues are more national. We're looking at the work of the Transformation Committee and the Division I membership standards, the transfer portal and how to put that toothpaste back in the tube, name, image, likeness, and all the things that are going on in that realm. So really trying to make sure, in college football, playoff expansion. We've expanded, there's still a lot of work to be done on really the devil in the details. So really being a voice in those rooms, trying to help formulate policy and make sure the Mountain West continues to be competitive and well situated.
You've touched on this a little bit, but as we sit here today, where have you already identified as the greatest strengths in this league and the places where there's greatest room for growth?
The strength of this league, and honestly, remember, we were the first disruptors by forming a conference in the dark of night, and since then we've had a really strong history. Yes, we've added and lost some schools, but by and large we have over 100 years of football history. We're competitive, we win. Basketball right now, we're heading into, we're 5th in the nation in average net ranking, number 1 in the West, and we're optimistic we're going to get 5 teams in the tournament. So strength is really the student athletes, what's happening on the field, on the court. Opportunities for growth, I think, as with the entire membership, we're, Division I membership standards are coming. There will be some investment. I think by and large our schools are really well situated, and it's going to be, an easier lift, but definitely making sure we're all well within that Division I framework.
And part of those campus visits, you mentioned the student athletes and the environments in the Mountain West really are top notch in the places that you've been already. How impressed have you been with the environments in which our student athletes play?
It's incredible. First of all, facilities. We've really made an investment through the league to provide our student athletes the best opportunity in training, nutrition, competition. But then also, I love going to campus because the energy within all the stadiums, arenas, packed houses, you can feel it, it's tangible, and it really lifts up our home team. So it's really a fun experience, and it's been energizing for me.
College athletics has seen some of its greatest change within the last decade. It's an ever-changing landscape. How do you, as the leader of this league, keep the Mountain West relevant at the forefront nationally to make sure that this league continues to have the level of success that you spoke about?
Well, and I think it's a tribute to all of our presidents and athletic directors, but continuing to take leadership roles in national committees and being at the forefront of that change, embracing it, maybe not putting our heels in and wishing it wasn't coming because it's here. Yeah. And so really making sure that we, as a league, together, we're pulling each other along and helping lift each other up.
You mentioned the experience as a student athlete at UMass playing college basketball. How does those experiences, how does that shape you now as a leader, as a commissioner?
I think all the data shows that especially for women, if you play sports, even at the recreational youth level, it really helps you formulate those abilities to succeed in business and the boardroom. And, being able to compete and not take them personally, being able to fall down and get back up, because Lord knows we do a lot of that.
Yeah. you've mentioned you're on the Division I Transformation Committee. For those who don't know, what are the tasks, the objectives of that? And then how does being on that committee and being on the ground floor of making sure that that college athletics is headed in the right direction help shape you as a leader in the Mountain West?
So the Transformation Committee was focused on Division I and working on modernizing our rule book in order to create the best experience possible for student athletes across the board, so that there's some kind of baseline for academic services, training, voice in the governance structure, and our ability to allow schools to have a little bit more freedom to invest in our student athletes. So in that sense, it's been a little bit of a mental shift. Instead of policy making from cost-cutting perspective or cost-saving perspective, really thinking about what should the enterprise look like, what product should we try to deliver to our student athletes, and then creating the governance to make that happen.
You have a high-pressure, very public job, in my opinion. What do you enjoy most about college athletics, working in that environment where there's a lot of eyes on you and you're making a lot of high-pressure decisions? What do you enjoy most about that?
And harkens back to my experience as a student athlete. I like the concept of team. I mean, yes, I am the face of the Mountain West, and the decisions are ultimately mine and on my desk, but I represent not only a great team here at the Mountain West, helping me make those decisions and helping me tell our story, but also our schools and our IDs and our presidents. And as a league, we are a membership-based organization, so we reflect the desires and direction of those folks as well.
Currently, as we sit here today, Mountain West men's basketball is enjoying a heck of a season. 5 teams ranked in the current top 50 of the net. As you look at what this could mean, how many teams reasonably right now
5.
should be... 5 teams, no hesitation there. 5 teams should be considered right now for the NCAA tournament. Why?
Yes. When you look at non-conference scheduling, you put a lot of work in the non-conference season, both in scheduling and then playing and winning. And our teams have done that. So our net ratings coming into league play are strong. So even if you stub your toe a little bit, lose a game you're not supposed to, that type of thing, our average net ranking as a league is really bolstering up those at the top who have selection opportunities. And I think that'll hold true. I think we're seeing a lot of great performance as teams are peaking and student athletes are getting in the groove, and I look forward to our conference tournament.
What's that number again?
5.
5.
Might be 5.
5 teams. Let's switch gears to college football. Recently, the college football playoff restructured how they're going to determine who gets in the playoff. There'll be 12 teams. 6 conference champions get an automatic spot into the playoffs. How do you see that benefiting the Mountain West?
Well, many thanks to Craig Thompson for pushing that boulder up the hill and getting that expanded playoff. That's one of the many pieces of his wonderful legacy. But now we have a 12-team playoff, and all 10 FBS leagues have a chance at that playoff. And so in a lot of respects, I'm looking forward to, and I hope we just continue to look at the 10 FBS leagues as the 10 FBS leagues. No A5, Power 5, Group of 5, it's just confusing. But with this expanded playoff, we have a very robust 10-league championship.
And the access has never been greater, so I think you're absolutely right. You've been a trailblazer your entire career. Now you're the second woman to lead an FBS football conference. How much pride do you take in making your mark and grooming trails and inspiring young women who want to follow Gloria Nevarez through the athletics world and be a commissioner someday?
You know, on one hand, I think it's really important to show people that you can sit at the table, but also just because a room might look one way, you can be different and make your way into the room and sit at the table. So I hope that's the message that's sent.
Well, Gloria, we really appreciate your leadership. We're very excited to have you leading the Mountain West in the future, and thank you so much for joining us here and taking time in the studio for the first time.
Thank you.
You bet. That's Gloria Nevarez, the Commissioner of the Mountain West. I'm Jesse Kurtz saying thank you for watching this presentation of the Mountain West Network.